Okay, in the last video we have discussed what do you mean by cache coherence problem. Okay, so it mainly occurs for the data which is write type. Write type means under calculations like plus, increment, decrement, multiplication, etc. Okay, so what are the solutions for cache coherence problem without protocol? So based on these four solutions we have two more solutions as a protocol types. Okay, these are the four initial protocols. Okay, let's take one by one. So here let's assume shared memory, cache 1, cache 2, cache 3, each corresponds to processor 1, processor 2 and processor 3. Okay, so let's create connection. Okay, see now processor 1 is executing job 1, processor 2 is executing job 2, similarly processor 3 is executing job 3 and there is one common value called x is equal to 5. As I mentioned, this is a plus plus, that means increment. So first processor 1 request for a data, so we will get a data 5 here. The work 5 plus plus is under execution. So as soon as remember this, fetch, decode, issue, execution 3 times and write back. Okay, so now comes this is a important section. So plus plus will completes here. Okay, so remaining 2 cycles of execution are idle. Okay, during this time if any other processes request to get a data, so they will get a copy of x as 5. So to what happens is actual data is 6. What they will get if the request is 5, this problem occurs. To avoid this problem, as soon as you update, write through means update in all the caches of all the processors. If they are using x, automatically it becomes the new value 6. So that is what procedure called write through. Okay, so after write through, second method is update and write back. So I mentioned update and write back means, so even though answer is 6, update it in all, okay, as a write through method, and continue with the value till you complete user defined function. So once it completes user defined function, then you update the answer in shared memory with final result. Okay, so but first step result is forwarded for all the processors as usual. Only final answer it will be continued till the completion of UDF. Okay, so next one is invalidate, write invalidate and write through. See now the value of x after executing plus plus, what is the job 1 is 6. So if any processor who all requested for data during this time, they will get a copy 5, not as a 6. Okay, so once J1 completes, it should update and instead of broadcasting, give invalid message or invalid signal for all. So what all processors cache will get is invalid signal, that is called invalidate. So once all data is invalidate, so what option the caches have is flush. Flush means remove the data, take the new. So whenever they remove a data, they all remove a data parallelly. Second E of first instruction completes, and parallelly when they will try to fetch a data, that means they will send a signal to fetch a data. By that time the original value 6 will be written. So now both idle time is idle time is complete. So we will get, for any new request we will get a updated result. So they will not continue with wrong data or invalid data. So now last step is write invalidate for all and write back. Write back procedure means what? Completion of UDF. So until you complete UDF, do not update. Keep invalidate bit high. If we keep invalidate bit high means what? They cannot get a data of X. That becomes exclusive copy. Exclusive copy between C1 and shared memory. So even though C2, C3, C4 of P2, P3, P4 or Pn request, they won't get a data because the value X is controlled by processor 1. So these are the 4 asymptotic solutions. Okay, so that asymptotic means here there is no actual timing related activities. They all takes place randomly. So these all such solutions kept in timing based method and called as a Snoopy bus protocol. It's a very important question with respect to the exam point of view. Snoopy bus protocol. Okay, see here how the activity will take place. Every processor is connected with the cache. Okay, every processor has its own cache, and all caches will communicate with the common data called which is present in a shared memory with the help of a Snoopy bus. The word is Snoopy bus. So let's understand what you mean by Snoopy. Snoopy means keep observing. It's a very important activity. Keep observing. See now, if J1, let's take same example, X is equal to 5, J1 is plus plus, job 1 is increment. So what happens? 6. So this activity takes place over this bus. Okay, over this bus, anywhere in the bus. So what you mean by Snoopy bus protocol is, as soon as any data transition means data modification with the help of or because of calculation takes place, the bus itself sends the updated result to all the connected processors cache. Here processor no need to send processor, it is not responsibility of any processor who has changed the value. It is a responsibility of bus. So it will only observes, because what is Snoopy means, it continuously keep observing any change in the value. Immediately a copy of updated value is sent. So let's think in the second scenario. So original value of X is, okay, original value of X is 5, J1 that is job 1 plus plus, J3 is into 2. Okay, so what happens? X plus plus 6. Okay, it uses a write update and write through. Write update, write through. So who is executing this mode is bus. Which bus? Snoopy bus. It observed the value of change of X from earlier value 5 to 6. Immediately it will send the new value of 6 to all caches. Who is interested on X value? Processor 3. It will get a new value 6 and it will multiply to get a new correct answer as 12. So to perform this, we will have separate cache controller for all. So what separate cache controller will do is, so they will expecting something from Snoopy bus. Every cache is associated with one cache controller, so they want to, they will also keep observation on this Snoopy bus. What they will do, as soon as Snoopy bus starts issuing some information like X is changed, so suddenly they will also change their copy of the variable value in the respective caches. So cache and processor are free from observation or data validation. So new element called cache controller takes place the responsibility with the help of a main Snoopy bus. So this is what Snoopy bus protocol. Okay, you can expect this in your examination. So now how to implement Snoopy bus in sub steps. Okay, so write invalidate and write update. As I mentioned, it will work in write update method. As soon as data is modified in any processor's cache, the new result is broadcasted with the help of what? Snoopy bus. Okay, it is a work of this bus who has to broadcast the updated value. So what is one more option which is less or less frequently used? Write invalidate. Whenever data is modified, if you are unable to send, so if you are unable to update in all other processors cache, you can send a invalidate bit. So what happens if we send a invalidate bit? The all other processors come to know that they should not continue the calculation with the answer of or value of X is equal to 5. They have to wait. They all will enter wait state of the process. So whenever they enter wait state of the project, they will reject old data and they keep waiting till they get a updated data. So how to get the data from old to updated, which is called a new? The process is flush. Flush means remove the old data, request for new data. Okay, so what are the limitations of Snoopy bus protocol? So more traffic. Why more traffic? Every cache or every processor continuously they may modify the value of X. So those all modifications transmitted or broadcasted, or even sometimes invalidate bit also transmitted over Snoopy bus, hence we can expect more traffic. Okay, it is costlier because it uses a broadcasting method. Okay, and also as the number of processors increases, the traffic increases, also broadcasting cost increases, hence we cannot expect this protocol in very large number of multi-computer system or multi-processor system. Okay, so now what is the another option we have is a directory based protocol. Okay, so here the directory based protocol is a substitute or a replace for Snoopy bus protocol. What is the purpose? It is to achieve best cache coherence. For that we are using directories. Directories means what? One who maintains data or information in proper order with respect to some logic. Hope we all remember telephone directory, in which we used to get a number of phone number of users based on city or taluka place or district place. Like that it is orderly arranged. Even though if we take one city, inside that city again we will have in alphabetical order data is organized, so that we can easily get if we know the village or a city name plus that family name, we used to get the contact number. Nowadays we are not providing directory because number of phone users are very high in today's network, so we are not providing, but indirectly somewhere in the cloud or the service provider there will be a telephone directory which will maintains details about the user registered. Okay, So how to perform or how to implement a directory based protocol is three methods: full map directories, limited directories, and chained directories. These are the three methods. You can expect this question in your examination. Let's take a full map directories. Okay, please refer diagram 1, 2 and 3, one after another. Okay, see here, this is a shared memory and there is a location X. Okay, C indicates a cache and the number of blocks will be is equal to number of processors connected. Okay, here it is a dot, that means till the end. At end we will have one common bit called data. Okay, one common bit called data. So in the first diagram there is no mapping. That means, please understand, no processor, either P1 or P2 or P3, they have not yet requested for any data in which is present in the shared memory. That's why we don't have any connection between shared memory and set of processors associated with their cache. Let's go to second diagram. So processor 1 is requested for X value, processor 2 is requested for same X value, processor 3 is also requested for same X value. Now inside a cache there was no X image. Please observe in the step 1. In step 2 we have got X data, X data, X data. X means location, data means there may be a value. Now what happened in this directory? This is called a directory. So here in this directory, in every this directory block, we have got a pointer. We have got a pointer. You can see here the word pointer. The pointer is created which indicates or establish a communication between shared memory block with a particular cache of a processor. Now what happens is, if the data bit here, whenever processor, any of the processor want to write a data, like P3 wants to change data X5 to 6. Earlier I used to explain P1, assume plus plus is in P3. Now P3 want to change or update the result. So what happens whenever P3 wants to update the result in the X is, see here, this was a C, that means cache, suddenly changes to D, that means dirty. Okay, dirty bit for what? Which all processors who doesn't want to update result right now. That means what? Only who wanted to update the result right now is P3. So that connection remains. See here, let me give, this connection remains as it is. The earlier connections are discarded. So that means what? The copy of X, what was present here, can you see X, that is removed. So cache is invalidated. Okay, see here, cache is invalidated. Okay, if this link exists with respect to P3, data is valid. With respect to P1, P2, the data is invalid. This is called a full map directory. Why it is called full map is, how many processors are there, those many blocks of cache will be created. So that is why we call it as full directory. Next, limited directory. Okay, so why we call this as a limited directories? Here we will force the algorithm itself to less number of processors, as less as number of processors. See, earlier what it was, earlier we used to connect how many processors are there, those many blocks, but now we used a special algorithm or a special technique called modulus 2. Modulus 2 means what? If any number performed with modulus 2, we will get two results, either 0 or 1. We call them 0, 1 0 1 0 1. So that means what? See here, let me give one analysis. Processor 1, processor 2, processor 3, processor 4, processor 5, like that. See, this number I will modulus by 2. So what is the remainder? 1 0 1 0, again 1. Processor 1, 3, 5 are connected at one instance, 2, 4, 6 are connected in another instance. That means we are making them two different sets. Either exist a communication between. Actually what happens in earlier, all full map, it was a full map. Now it is modulus mapping. Okay, see, now this case, this half of the diagram will explain us about the case of m modulus 2 which is equal to 1, which is equal to 1. See here, this is a process number 1, process number 3 modulus 2, that is also 1. Next will be what? Process 5, if we assume that. Okay, so here you can expect one more empty block. After that you can expect a data, and this link will exist, leaving what? Whose process number whose modulus is 0, they will not get a link. So at a time earlier it was of very high length, now it has been reduced to half, because either even or odd, that method. So hence this is called as limited directories. Not all directories will get communication at a time based upon 2 or 3. If you change into 3, you will have option 0 1 2, all zeros, all ones, or all 2 number of processors. Like that we will get a connections establishment. Okay, so next one we have is chained directories. Okay, see now, when it is a chain directories, we don't maintain same number of blocks. Number of blocks is equal to number of processors, like a full map. Number of blocks is equal to number of possible outcomes of some modulus operation. Like if I do modulus 2, I have options of 0 1. If I do modulus 3, 0 1 2, like that. See, that time what was the method I used to do in the limited? I used to call processor as 0 1 0 1 0 1 alternatively, or 0 1 2 0 1 2 0 1 2. So hope you remember in your CO the method of set associative, fully set associative, direct mapping, like that. See, 1 1 1 are mapped, next is 2 2 2 are mapped, like that. Okay, here nor we are maintaining full, nor we are maintaining based on the possible outcomes of modulus. We are maintaining only one. First, whoever is a processor request, whichever processor request, it will get a data. Okay, so who is the next processor? He will whoever will request data first, he will get data, as well as he will get a chain termination bit called as CT. Chain termination bit called as CT. So what do you mean by chain termination bit? Is no other process as of now requested for same data. Okay, no other process requested as of now requested for same data when it is 0. If it is something else, that means the same data is also accessed by another process, where there will be a link between original as well as new. See, first x1 requested for the data. See here, first x1 requested for data, not x1, p1 requested for data. It was a null. Okay, what was? Chain termination. Second time p2 request for data, so copy of data is sent. Also data termination bit of earlier will becomes 1, or you can mention it as 2. Why? That is a processor number. If processor 3 also request, one data will be given and its termination is what? P2. It looks like singly linked list. singly linked list activity. Okay, it looks like a singly linked list method of execution. Okay, so whenever a process updates a data, so not interested, I means later executing processor will lose the here they will lose the data, and original data is modified and given back here. Here what are the advantages of chained? First thing, we don't have full mapped block, so it is very smaller in size. Also, since we are using a pointer based method, it acts very faster. So advanced method called chained directories are helpful than the earlier two methods, full mapping and limited resources. So the last one is hardware synchronization. So hardware synchronization means whenever we have same activity, same resource, hardware resource, okay, shared between multiple activities. Let me show here. One is audio file and one is video file. Both are of a same song, same media file called song. Okay, some video song we wanted to play. Audio is stored separately, video is stored separately. How we achieve synchronization? If we don't achieve synchronization, what happens? Audio may be processed faster than video, so we feel like audio is fast and video is lagging. Most of the time we feel, okay, in the internet and all data types. Okay, so how to achieve? But in reality, what happens whenever we play a song on a computer, we feel like both are together, that means synchronized. How it is done? It is done with the help of clock signal. Okay, so what clock signal will do is it pulls down speed of a fast executing activity. What is fast executing activity? Is audio, and it pulls down audio and it accelerates slowly executing processor. Among audio video, who is slowly executing is video file, I mean video content is slowly executing. So signal will accelerate, clock signal will accelerate video content and pulls down the speed of audio content. Hence we feel audio video matching on the computer monitor whenever we watch a video song or any of the files. Okay, so like some of the game in cricket or etc., we feel like both are synchronized. So one case study we have. Okay, so how we can expect a synchronization is took place. Okay, so there are 4 processors, 1 2 3 4. Initial vector of them is x and y, 4 ones and 4 zeros. Okay, all are forked. Fork means what? I think you have used in your Unix. Fork is to create a process. Okay, so at some instance process 1 and 3 are synchronized. Some instant they are synchronized. How we will get to know synchronized? See, one x vector and y vector are matched. Here also you can see x vector and y vector are matched. Okay, they can match either to 0 0 or to 1 1. Okay, either to 0 0 or to 1 1. So at end, if y vector of all processor matches, it is called as synchronization done successfully. See, at some other instance they all reached a synchronization point, hence we got a y vector 1 1 1 1. So that finishes hardware synchronization. Okay, thank you.